Now students, let us discuss some other members of the solar system, that is asteroids, comets and meteors. Now first is asteroids. Now asteroids are the small irregular heavenly body of rock and metals which revolves around the Sun in the gap between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. The number of asteroids between Mars and Jupiter is so large that they appear as a belt in this region. So there are two theories to explain the formation of asteroids. So first is, some scientists think that the asteroids are the pieces of materials that failed to come together to form a planet when the solar system was being formed. Whereas some scientists believe that the asteroids are the pieces of large planet that went close to the Jupiter and was broken up by its gravitational pull. So these asteroids can be seen through large telescopes. So there may be as many as 1 lakh asteroids. And the surface of asteroids is full of craters, indicating the impact from meteorites. Now second is comet. So comet is a small body of ice and dust, and it moves around the Sun in an elongated orbit. So a comet appears generally as bright head with a long tail. So as a comet approaches the Sun, it gets heated and leaves behind a stream of hot glowing gases and dust particles. So we see this as the tail of the comet, and the tail of the comet always points away from the Sun, and the length of the tail grows in size as it approaches the Sun. So many comets are known to appear periodically. So one such comet is Halley's Comet, which appears after nearly every 76 years. So it is named after Edmund Halley, who calculated its orbit. So it was last seen in the year 1986, and Halley's Comet will be visible again in the year 2061 to 2062. Now students, let us discuss about meteorites, meteors and meteorites. So first is meteoroids. So meteoroids are small, rocky, irregular heavenly body which revolves around the Sun. And scientists believe that meteorites are leftover rocks during the formation of solar system. So first image you can see of meteoroids. Okay, so it is a leftover rocks. Now second is meteors. Now when these meteoroids come very close to the planet, such as Earth, so Earth gravitation pulls them in. So as they enter the Earth's atmosphere, so they get heated because of friction with the air and starts burning and emitting light. So as these burning meteorites fall towards the Earth's surface, we see them as a bright streak of light in the sky. So meteors are what? Meteors are burning meteorites, which we see as a bright streak of light that flashes for a moment across the sky. So meteors are also called shooting star. So the materials of meteors burns up completely before it reach on the surface of the Earth. So it does not cause any damage. And third one is meteorites. Now some large meteoroids fail to burn completely and strikes the Earth's surface. So, a meteorite which does not burn completely on entering the Earth's atmosphere and land on the Earth's surface is known as meteorite. So, meteorite can create a large crater and cause a lot of damage, but it helps the scientists in investigating the nature of the matter in outer space. So first is meteorite, okay, which is a small rocky irregular heavenly body, and scientists believe it as the leftover rocks during the formation of solar system. Second is meteors. So meteors are burning meteorites, okay, which we see as a bright streak of light that flashes for a moment, and it is also called shooting star. And how it burns? When it enters in Earth atmosphere. So when it enters the Earth atmosphere, it gets heated due to the friction with the air and starts burning and emitting light. Third one is meteorites. Okay, so this large meteorites fail to burn completely and strike the Earth's surface. So meteorite which does not burn completely on entering the Earth atmosphere and lands on Earth's surface is known as meteorite. Now let us understand this through the table. Difference between meteors and meteorites. So first is burning. So meteors burn completely before they reach the surface of the Earth. That's why it is known as shooting stars. Second is meteorites. Now meteorites does not burn completely on entering the Earth's atmosphere and land on Earth's surface. Second is size. The size of this heavenly body is very small as compared to the size of meteorite. The size of this heavenly body, that is meteorites, is very big. Third, damage, as it burns completely, so it does not cause any damage. Another part, it can create a large craters and cause a lot of damage on the Earth's surface as it does not burn completely. Last, as it burns completely, so it is not possible to study it. Whereas as it burns partially, so it helps the scientists to know about the nature of the matter in outer space. Now students, let us discuss about constellation. So constellation means we see thousands of stars at night. Now many of these stars appears in groups forming a pattern. So such pattern contains objects or figures. So the stars which appears in the form of close groups and form recognizable shapes and patterns are known as constellations. So far 88 constellations have been recognized and named, and each constellation has been assigned a name signifying an animal, human being or any other object which it appears to resemble. The constellations appears to move in the sky from east to west, because the Earth rotates on its axis from west to east. The shapes of the constellations remains the same of this heavenly body. Now students, let us discuss about some prominent constellations. So first is Ursa Major. Now Ursa Major, or we can say Great Bear constellation, is one of the most famous constellations which can be seen in April month in summer season in northern part of the sky at night. It is also known as Big Dipper, Great Bear or Saptarishi. Again, it is a group of 7 prominent stars in which forms the shape of dipper. So dipper means a long handled spoon used for drawing out water. Now there are 3 stars in the handle of the spoon and 4 in its ball. Ursa Major is also called Great Bear because the 7 bright stars of Ursa Major, along with several other fainter stars, form a pattern resembling a bear. Now with the help of Ursa Major constellation, we can locate a pole star. Now this pole star lies close to the axis of the rotation of the Earth. As a result, the pole star appears stationary as seen from the Earth. Next is Ursa Minor constellation. Now this constellation can clearly seen in the northern part of the sky in July month during the summer season. It is also known as Little Dipper, Little Bear or Laghu Saptarishi. So there are 7 prominent stars in the constellation which forms the shape of a dipper. The stars in Ursa Minor are closer and less brighter than those of Ursa Major. At the end of the tail of Ursa Minor is the pole star. Next is Orion Constellation or Hunter Constellation. Now this is one of the most prominent and easily identifiable constellation in the night sky, and it is visible during the winter season. It also has 7 or 8 bright stars and several faint stars which forms the body of Hunter. So Orion is also called a Hunter constellation. The 3 middle stars represents the belt of the Hunter. The head and the limbs of the Hunter are formed from other faint stars. The star Sirius, which is the brightest star in the sky, is located close to the Orion. To locate Sirius, imagine a straight line passing through the 3 middle stars of Orion. Extend this imaginary line towards the east direction. This star will lead to the very bright star, that is star Sirius. So some other prominent constellations are Scorpius, which is in scorpion shape. Next is Leo, which is lion shape. And last is Cassiopeia, which is W or inverted M shape. Now students, let us discuss about artificial satellite. An artificial satellite is a man-made object that has been purposefully placed into the orbit around the Earth or other planets to perform the specific function. So they are launched from the Earth. So first artificial satellite called Sputnik 1 was launched by the erstwhile USSR on October 1957. Since then, many countries, including India, have launched a large number of artificial satellites. So most of these satellites revolve around the Earth. So India has built and launched several artificial satellites. So the first Indian artificial satellite named Aryabhat was launched on 19 April 1975. Some other Indian satellites are INSAT, IRS, AJOSAT and Kalpana 1. Now uses of artificial satellite. It is used for weather forecasting, telecommunication, means cellular phones and long distance telephones, fax, etc. are few of the services provided by satellite communication. Remote sensing means for locating mineral resources, underground water and for land mapping, for collecting information about other planets and about the outer space, and for transmitting radio and television signals. Thank you.